Nothing, I mean, absolutely nothing prepares you for the loneliness, loss of friendships, loss of connections, what have you, whenever you move from your comfort zone, your home, the place you found family, community, whatsoever, to another place. I don't care if you're moving from Nigeria to Lake Chad, or you're moving from Nigeria to wherever, Africa to wherever. Nothing prepares you for that shock. No matter how much people will come online to tell you, oh, this is this, this is that, they don't stress about how serious it is. Anyway, guys, if you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Dinah Ekueme, and I will be sharing. See, if you're seeing me for the first time, we keep it real here. We don't sugarcoat anything. We say it as it is. If you want to go and break your head, if you want to take it, if you don't want to take it, it's your problem. We just keep it real, over real here. I've never been the type to glamorize living Nigeria. Everyone, absolutely the majority, I believe, they know the advantages, the benefits of relocating from one place to another. Wherever you think or feel this is greener pasture, everyone, you know what you're going to look for. What people do not stress on are the dark sides. People don't really, they just they sprinkle, this is what you have to go through, this is this, but they don't go into details. Anyway, as I'm sharing my personal experience, I'm just going to play a video that popped up before I even started doing this setup. But let's play it. It will be here or here.
Tell you about moving to Canada. I feel so alone. I feel like I live with someone I can't have a conversation with, and I'm trying to cry and I even have to be silent about it. You just lose out on so many things. Your life, you just leave it behind. Your friends, and I'm so hurt and my heart hurts. You have to work all the time. I have school. I'm so sad. I'm hurting so much.
If you're familiar with this particular Instagram page, you would know that this video kind of went viral. Over 9,000 comments in just a few hours. And man, oh man, yes, I understand. People are different. You have introverts, you have extroverts, you have people like us that are in between, ambiverts. If we're outside, we're outside. If we're inside, we're inside. But first off, I would love to sympathize with this young girl. I don't know who she is, and it's the comments, the insensitive comments. I just don't know. I know some people, especially Nigerians living in Nigeria, many people do not believe in depression, mental health. People don't take it seriously. And don't get me wrong, I'm not the type to throw around the word depression. Depression is a mental illness. For those of you who just wake up and just say, I'm depressed, there is sadness, there is fleeting sadness, there is intense sadness, there is loneliness, there is aloneness, and there is depression. Depression, do you know people get administered into hospitals to be treated? Some people, it goes into a whole psychiatry. It's not a word to throw around lightly. There are people who take medication. Do you know that? For depression. So if you feel sad just because you're just sad in the moment, you're not depressed, you're just sad. I'm not a doctor, I'm not whatsoever, but I hate that we've come to just make that word such a cliche that people don't know when to use it anymore. People just use it randomly. I've only felt something close to being depressed once in my life, and that was when I finished uni. I graduated from uni. I still owe you guys that story time. If you would want that story time, let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, other than that, I just feel sometimes I feel intense sadness, intense intense whatever, and then it goes away. If you're not to that point where you have no motivation to, no will, no power, no will, no nothing to do anything, the only thing you're thinking of is just how to go away, how to let yourself go, how to you can't even control your feelings because you're just sinking deep, and you're just looking for the next high, whether it's people go into drugs, alcohol, self-harm, suicide. It's deep, it's deeper than deep. When I saw this girl on Instablog Nigeria, I just feel sorry. I don't know what she's going through. She's living in Canada. She's probably a student. She mentioned that she's a student, she's working, it's a lot. I'm just going to share with you guys what I've had to go through, what I'm currently going through, because believe me, I feel like the season that I'm currently in, I know I've mentioned this in the vlog before, the season I'm currently in, I'm going through a serious quarter life crisis. I'm just going to define it according to Google. So those of you who do not know what it means would probably just have an idea. So similar to the more widely recognized midlife crisis, the quarter life crisis is a period of uncertainty and questioning that typically occurs when people feel trapped, uninspired, and disillusioned during their mid-20s to early 30s. I'm 28, and I know that moving, relocating triggered this sense of quarter life crisis because since coming here, if you know me, if you've been following me for quite a while, I've been a home girl. Like, that was how I was raised. I grew up in Aba, Abia State, and my parents, my dad especially, made sure that his girls, even my brothers, we were protected growing up. I don't know what nightlife looks like in the city where I was born. I lived 16 years there, and I never knew what 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. looks like. I know, it's sad. Once it's 5, 6, find yourself at home. Acho, if they look for you. If they look for you, you go explain tire. You will explain. That was how I grew up. This girl is in uni. I remember before I moved to uni, I was home for 1 year. I've told this story once in my live video. Admission, my dad refusing to let me go to University of Ibadan. Trying Ghana, universities there. A lot happened, and I was at home for 1 year. So imagine that kind of sheltered life, plus the fact that people were going to uni and I was stuck at home. I was looking for a way. University was the only time that I left Nigeria. And I can't relate to depression. Like, if you knew me in uni, you would know that I utilized my time. There was no dulling moment. I utilized the good times because obviously it would be cruel to compare the good old days. This was 2014, 15, 16. I graduated 2017. And this year that this girl has to battle not just a cost of living crisis, you're talking about inflation, you're talking about people back home relying on her, studying, working. It wasn't, I was studying and working, but I still had enough savings to travel around Europe. That was how good the times were compared to now. There was no Brexit back in the day. Back in the day, if you were a student, the in thing, if you can relate, say hi. If you went to the UK pre-Brexit period, you would know that if you were a student that time, the in thing was get a Schengen visa, travel around Europe, because it was literally cheap. And if you get a Schengen visa, you can travel to as many countries as you could. So I couldn't relate to anything depression. So when people say depression, I was always confused because my university, I was bawling. I bawled till my dad was like, you must come back. You have to come back. There was no dulling moment until after I graduated. Like I said, I owe you guys a story time. Right now, I had that kind of mentality. Let's not lie. wherever you're relocating to, there is some sort of expectation. No matter the advice, no matter what you've watched online, no matter all the things that people share online, you have your personal expectation. So me, in my head, my expectation was still the same vibe that I had when I had no responsibility, I had no children coming here. And if you've been watching me for a while, you would know that back in Nigeria, if my husband is not around, my cousins are in my house. My brothers, they come during the weekend. My mom is a stone throw away. I go for meeting, my husband's village meeting. Like, I was always in something, involved in something, family, community. That's me. That's, like, I can't relate to this isolating life. So when I came here, obviously coupled with the things happening back home, it hit me. Loneliness hit me. Intense sadness hit me. It wasn't the sadness that was coming and going. It was almost, I would say almost the sadness that I would ask myself, why am I here? Why did I come here? Why are we in this situation? What sort of life is this? So when you see people talk about depression, this, that, it's not just sadness that just goes away. There are people who don't get back from that. There are people who stay miserable. There are people who just, they wallow in that regret until God knows. You may never know. So when I see comments from Nigerians like, if you don't do, you come back, that narrative is getting boring. At this point, please stop it. It's getting boring because it's such an insensitive comment to make, especially when people are sharing their plight, what they're going through and all of that. Friendships, let's not talk about, she mentioned friendships. She doesn't have any friends abroad. At least she's a young girl. Someone like me, before I left Nigeria, we had this, I feel like most Nigerian girls can relate. We're brought up to not speak to strangers, day or day, be cultured, this, that. Most of us grew up with low self-esteem. Most of us didn't have that confidence to approach people, to do things, to socialize. And I feel like that's the phase she's going through. You know, most of us just stay in our shells. We do better in groups, in our shells, in families, in communities, and whatsoever. So it's hard to even approach friends. And then coupled with the fact that this is a new culture, new accent, you don't want to forehand, you don't want to say something and then it comes out of, you know, different everything, different environment, different everything. And yeah, I had to force myself to come out of that. Obviously, towards the end of this video, I may share things that may help you and her. If you know her, please share this video to her. I may share things that helped me come out of that phase. When you see me go out, I get shocked when people say, oh, you're so extroverted, you're so confident, you're not shy, you can go out, you can do. You have to fake it till you make it. You have to look in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, as I'm going out, I'm attracting people with my smile, with my way, with whatsoever. I'm going out there and I'm making things work. Unlike in Nigeria, whether you show up or show out or do whatsoever, people are nice. People are like, hey, madam, you look good, or people will compliment you. Guys will approach you if you're a girl. People will want to exchange numbers. You know, there is that sort of, you feel seen. You feel like, you know, your people, they recognize you. This is, it's different abroad. No matter where the abroad is, I even feel like here in the Middle East is better. Having lived in the UK and lived here gives me kind of Nigerian vibes, especially in the village that I live in. It kind of gives me that Nigerian vibes that I feel seen as someone who is not from here. It's tough. It's hard. When you make, these are the things that make people not open up. These comments of, if you don't do, you come back, you're ungrateful, this, that. It doesn't still erase the fact that this young girl, she's going through it. She's going through that phase of, I don't understand. This is not what I'm used to. This is so foreign. And it will probably take a while. But when she gets it, she'll get it. So, yeah, friendships. My best friend, Utibe, in Nigeria, I put it in my head that, okay, the way me and my husband did long distance marriage, it's doable. It can't be that bad. Friendships and marriage, totally different. You cannot compare. The dynamics, everything, different. But one thing that is similar is the effort. There has to be effort from both parties to want to make it work. When we talk, it's not even like I've left Nigeria. The only difference is that we're not there. We get all the tea, all the details. I get all her tea, all her details, and she gets mine. It's the effort. All the people, I don't even have a lot of people in Nigeria that I'll say, okay, I was keeping up with. The few people, family, friends that I was talking to in Nigeria, I still keep up with them. It's not hard on my end. There are things that, happen that creates distance, whether it's relationship, friendship, or whatsoever. And sometimes one party looks at it like, oh, I've outgrown this stage, I've outgrown this person, I'm no longer here, so what's the point? Sometimes it's one person on the other end not understanding the struggles the other person is going through, because whenever people hear abroad, they feel, oh, it's all rosy, you have all the time. I even saw a thread on Twitter, a girl making mockery of her friend, calling her all the time via WhatsApp call, trying to just making mockery of the whole loneliness thing. It really hits me that a lot of Nigerians do not understand. When people talk about this loneliness, depression, whatsoever, there is no explanation, there is no English I will say in this camera that will make anybody who hasn't felt it understand. But all I can say is, even though you don't understand why somebody, maybe when they moved newly, they were bombing you with calls, then all of a sudden there is that disappearance or sudden whatsoever, and that disconnect happens. Life is lifing. That's all I can say. Probably the person has gotten to that stage where it's tiring to keep up with this thing, or maybe I cannot relate to this person's struggles anymore, or maybe it's the case of being burnt out, being tired. All you can do is try and check up. I know it's a two-way thing, it's not a one-way thing, but sometimes, because when I read the thread, some people are like, once they just not send me, I'm not gonna send them again. This one of my guys, I've been, they ask them for money, or whenever I talk to them, he go feel send them money and they ask them. But that's the reality for most people. You talk, and then towards the end, which there is nothing wrong with it, but if every conversation is money related, at the end of the day, find me something, at the end of the day, the only time you call is when you need help, what do you think would happen? You don't know how the person is hustling, you don't know what the person has to go through, you don't know the stress that the person is going through. The worst situation is having to go to school, having to work, and still having to send black tax, send money back home, having people depending on you. It's not easy. And when they talk about loneliness, or when they call to just feel seen, the least you can do is mock them. The least you can do is burden them with, I don't know. But yeah, abroad does a lot. I know this is relocation era. People are moving. There are people who have been impacted, whether it's marriage, friendship, whatsoever. Nigeria is going through it right now, tearing families apart just because the government is refusing to work. All I can say is it's a struggle. Whether you're in the going or staying back, and it's a struggle. Be kind, understand situations, try to picture things, put yourself in the other person's shoes. I'm not saying you should, because this person is abroad, do all. Even those abroad, understand that the people back home, you once had that friendship, you once had that relationship, you once found that person to be comforting, and if it's no longer working, if you feel like you've outgrown that person, or you feel like the person calling you all the time, texting you all the time, it's burdening you financially, say it. Tell the person, explain. If you truly value that friendship or that relationship, explain to the person that, look, see, this is what I'm going through, this is that, it's not easy, it's not rosy. And if they still persist, you know me now, you know my motto, cut off and stay by yourself. And yeah, like I said, relocation has done a lot to families. I've been on both ends. I've been in that long distance era, and here I am with my husband, and I wouldn't say either or is nice or feels good. Here, we're facing what we're facing. Distance, we were facing what we were facing. All I can say is, if you're in this girl's shoes, you probably moved to uni, or you just relocated to a different country, your family is not there, nothing. All the life that you've been used to, nothing. One way to get over it, like I've mentioned, I know I did a mom vlog and most of you are not moms, but one way to get over things is accept your reality. I realized here quickly that always dwelling on, oh my family, oh my mom, oh my dad, oh my this, oh my that, it just increased the sadness. All I can say is try, as hard as it is, try to get out of that situation. She has a roommate that doesn't make her feel seen, probably in and out, they probably don't see each other. You don't need to focus on, say, oh, this my roommate must be my friend. Go out. You have to learn to go out to create that life you want for yourself. That's one formula with abroad. If you're waiting for things to be served to you, it's not going to happen. Remember, the reason why most of these countries even employ us or allow us to come study is because they need us to pump into their economy or their GDP. So if you're waiting to be served, you're going to wait a long time. You're going to stay sad a long time. All you have to do is create the life you envision for yourself. The highest thing you will get is no, I don't want. The highest thing you will get is I don't like you, ghosting. But attempt, keep going. It's just like people saying that they applied for 100 jobs, 1,000 jobs, and that one clicked. That's how the reality of abroad is. That is sadly how the reality of staying abroad, wherever your abroad is, that's the reality of it. You have to create the life you want for yourself. Do you want friends? Open your mouth and say, I want friends. Manifest it. Say, this is what I want. Write it in your diary. Research, how can I make friends in my area, in Canada, in the UK? How do people mingle? You make the effort. When I came here, I knew nobody. I'm a dependent. I had children. I couldn't. I had to open my mouth and talk. I shamelessly said it in my vlogs. I kept talking about it, talking about how isolating it was. Bang, 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 bang. The universe aligned me with people. So you have to be intentional. That's the key word. Intentional about whatsoever. Whether it's the goal that you want to achieve, whether it's friendship, whether it's, forming a community, you must be intentional. Like I said, the highest you get is no, or ghosting, or they ignore you. But you have to keep going. It's part of moving abroad. It only makes you stronger. It makes you wiser. It gives you the humble beginnings. So you can't sit down and wallow in sadness and expect the way, in Nigeria, people coming to you, the attention, the family, people checking up on you. No. Do it, and the more you do it, the universe will reciprocate. The more you do it, you see people even reciprocating at some point because they know, oh, this is now my friend. It will take a while. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. It will take a while, but you just need to embrace. If it takes you to cry. We dey cry for abroad, cry. If it takes you to scream, put your head inside pillow, scream. After screaming, walk to your mirror, look at the mirror, say, who were you before you moved here? Who are you? Who the hell are you? Who the hell are you to sit down all day and cry? Get up. Go out. You're going for lectures. When you see people, you smile. I know abroad is all about putting heads down. Smile. Be inviting. Express yourself in such a way that people will just naturally want to roll with you, want to be with you, want to talk to you. That's the magic of intentionality. It has to come from within. The confidence has to be built. Leave that low self-esteem. You as a girl, you as a boy, you as a man, as a woman, low self-esteem, low confidence doesn't get you anywhere. Get up, show out. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I'm going through it as well. Quarter life crisis. I'm at that stage where everything feels and like I said, I've embraced it. I'm not fighting it. I mean, in Nigeria, I was always in the go. What's the next big thing? What's the thing? Where are we going? life will humble you abroad. That's one thing for sure. You will be humbled. Your wings will be broken. But it doesn't mean that it should stay broken. Embrace your reality. Embrace where you are. Embrace the stage that you are. Because with time, you will tell stories. Like where I am now, 11 months later, I can't even believe I'm here. That I would eventually adjust. Even if things look like it's moving in slow motion, things are actually moving up and moving fast when you look back. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Baby girl, the baby girl that I just watched in this video, Canada is not going to be the death of you. You cannot be depressed in Canada. You will not be depressed in Canada. You have everything. There are people who would kill to be where you are. You have everything on a platter. It's hard. It's difficult, it's unfamiliar, but this is just a phase. It will pass. Just keep up with whatsoever you can keep up. Anything draining your mental health, financially, physically, emotionally, you have to let it go. Focus on the things that you can control. You cannot control people coming to you, but you can control going to people. So why not work on those things that will bring happiness to you? Work on those things that would make your experience abroad very memorable. That's all I can say. If you are going through it, quarter life crisis, stage of stagnancy, feeling like you can't move forward, you can't move backwards, but you're like me, embracing it, seeing where it goes, let me know in the comment section below and share with me what's your experience with abroadians. Are you the one in Nigeria? Are you the one abroad? Are you, what's the case for you? I would really love to know the connection. Is it connecting or is it not? Your long distance relationship, marriage, friendship, is it tough? Is it hard? Are you regretting? Are you happy? I would love to know all of these things in the comment section below. Remember, give this video a massive thumbs up. Let me know what you think about my hair, my makeup, and all of that. And hopefully, I will see you guys in my next one. For now,